When your nervous system has been trained to scan every room for danger, to walk on eggshells, to brace for the next blow, it shows up in your body. After all, the pain has to go somewhere. If you've experienced narcissistic abuse, I bet this sounds familiar to you. I've talked with a lot of people over the years, people who have lived through narcissistic abuse. And what strikes me is how often the conversation doesn't start with emotional damage. It starts with something physical. I've heard, I couldn't sleep for years. I lived with chronic migraines. I had stomach problems that no doctor could explain. And then, almost like a whisper, but when I finally left, a lot of it stopped. This episode isn't about diagnosis or medical advice. It's about connecting dots that too many individuals were left to figure out on their own. Let me tell you about a woman I spoke with not that long ago. She told me she had lived with constant chest tightness for over a decade. She thought it was her heart, maybe anxiety, maybe even a respiratory issue. She'd go to the doctors and every test would come back. She was fine. It wasn't until a year after she left her narcissistic partner that she noticed the tightness was gone. She hadn't even realized it because her body had been carrying it for so long, it felt normal. Another woman shared this story with me. She had daily stomach pain, bloating, digestive issues that doctors chalked up to IBS. She said it was like my gut was always twisted in knots. And wouldn't you know it? About 6 months after cutting contact with her toxic parent, her symptoms began to fade. Not overnight, but slowly, like her body was finally letting go of a grip it had been holding way too long. And maybe you relate to this one. A woman I met through this podcast told me she had been diagnosed with 2 autoimmune conditions. And while she still lives with them, she said the most bizarre thing happened after her divorce. Her flares started to decrease dramatically. Her words were, "It's like my body stopped screaming." So what's really going on here? Am I right when I say that those individuals in a narcissistic relationship, male or female, that you're not just stressed occasionally, you're in a state of chronic stress, survival stress. It just seems to me that your body doesn't know if it's safe because you're constantly walking on a tightrope, trying to stay one step ahead of the narcissist's mood swings, the silent treatment, gaslighting, or emotional explosions. Doesn't it feel like your body is in a constant flight or fight mode? Staying there too long can just wreak havoc on your sleep, your digestion, your immune system, your heart. But here's what I want to say more than anything else. It seems to me that your body wasn't betraying you. It was trying to protect you. Those headaches, the fatigue, the racing heart, the foggy thinking, you may have thought you were falling apart, but there is another possibility. They were signs you were surviving in an environment that was tearing you down. And when some of those symptoms lift, when your sleep starts to return, your digestion calms, a chronic pain quiets, that's not just relief. That's your body finally whispering, "I think we're safe now." It's so important to give yourself some grace here, to stop blaming yourself for the symptoms your body developed in response to trauma. Don't ever think of yourself as weak or feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or sick. That was your body trying to keep up under impossible pressure. So if you're someone who's left and you're beginning to feel shifts, even little ones, maybe big ones, let that be a reminder. Healing doesn't happen in your mind. It happens in your nervous system, in your breath, and in your rest. And if you're someone who's still in the thick of it, and your body is sounding every alarm, don't automatically think you're failing. Could it be that your body knows the truth? even when everyone else is trying to convince you otherwise. And yes, you've probably seen a doctor, you've had the test, and everything is coming back normal, but something still doesn't feel right. Don't ignore that. Sometimes the cause is deeper than what shows up in a scan. You weren't overreacting. You were reacting to danger. And now you deserve to rest, to heal, to feel peace in your bones once again. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this message stirred something in you, or if you have a story like the ones I've shared today, I hope you'll share it with me. You're not alone. And the more we name this truth, the more we reclaim our power, our peace, and our health. For those of you new to my podcast, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent, a story about Annie who breaks free from a narcissistic marriage. Annie isn't just one person. Annie is anyone who has ever experienced narcissistic abuse. And Are You Annie is a space to hear you, to validate you, and to walk this healing journey with you. Here, you are not alone. And I want you to remember that you are stronger than you think. I want you to be tenacious and never give up on what's important to you. I appreciate you staying on this journey with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.